What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Buckeye-Film-Breakdown. As always, I'm Jeremy. Middle of your screen, if you're watching, we've got Coach Slate. Far right, we've got Jake. We wanted to hop on here tonight, get you guys some more content as we lead into the Cotton Bowl, like we said that we would. And as always, check out Buckeye-Film-Breakdown for everything else that we've got going on. Stay up to date. Jake was in absentia last night when we talked all things defense, but we wanted to hop on here and give him a chance to hop in and discuss things. And I know he has some thoughts on that. So let's kind of recap, Slate. What did we see with those guys last night?
Yeah, man. So yesterday we talked about some of the things that we think Ohio State can do against this Miami offense to really combat some of the run game that we saw against Texas A&M. We know that Mark Fletcher had a huge game, and that's what everybody's talking about, and everybody's kind of forgotten how good this defensive line for Ohio State is. And we showed some really good clips from Louisville, who you had the upset win over Miami, where they were in a lot of penny front stuff. They did a lot of stemming to it, a lot of things that Ohio State has done all season long. And we really talked about, how we need to make sure that Carson Beck has the game on his shoulders in the fourth quarter. And if we're in that position, then we should be in a position to win the game. We also talked about Malachi Toney. He is a big play waiting to happen, man. I mean, the more film I watch on this guy, I hate to gas up somebody from the Miami Hurricanes, but he is an absolute dog, man. He is. Jeremiah Smith is 1A, Malachi Toney's 1B. Like, he is that good. And so he's an explosive play waiting to happen. But the Buckeyes
is he a slot guy only for them, Slay? How are they using him?
Dude, he is a gadget guy. He'll line up outside, inside. He'll take snaps at quarterback. He'll line up in the backfield and run between the tackles, punt return, kick return. He does literally everything in every spot. He will throw the ball. I can almost guarantee he will throw the ball against the Buckeyes at some point. They utilize him in every way possible. And so he will line up all over the place, man. So he's a special player. That's the guy that worries me the most, because he could be shut down the entire game, and then boom, gets a punt return because he's mad he hasn't been touching the ball, and then they're right back in it. So those are some of the things we touched on. I think the Buckeye defense is geared up to really do some really good things, especially with Caden McDonald, Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, Edric Houston. They've been feeling a little forgotten about. And so it will be fun to see how they answer the call.
Do they like, and this is just me because I've been trying to watch the other side of the ball. Do they, when they're using him, is it obvious to you when they're trying to get him the ball, specific alignments, motion types, anything? Like, if you were watching this, breaking them down, you're like, hey man, when they put him in the slot, they're typically trying to get, like, does it feel like they're, like, what I'm getting at is it organic to him or is it forced to him? Do you know what I'm saying? There's a difference in that.
I think it's, yeah, I think when if their offense is struggling and they need a big play or they need to get the offense going, they will force the ball to him. And I think Carson Beck, he will stare him down at times when they need a play. There's no doubt about that. He is the guy that they look for when they need something to go. If the run game is struggling, they will put him in the backfield. I mean, they will definitely find ways to get him the ball. It's not necessarily always organic. They will definitely force feed him, and he still finds ways. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There was a clip against Louisville where it was plain as day that they were going to run a screen to him, and he still took it like 60 yards for a big play. I mean, there was no doubt about it. They are running a screen to him based on his alignment, based on the way that he was in his stance. Everything about it said screen, screen, screen. And they still didn't stop it. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't matter. It's one of those things, like, it's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmys and the Joes. And he's the definition of that. You can know that it's coming, and he's just going to make you miss or do some different things. So the Buckeyes really have to be locked in on all their angles, the vice tackling, all those different things that go into stopping an explosive playmaker.
Okay, Indiana specifically threatened them, we feared, because we like the backs, the Hemby combination. And then we thought they had some ball win. Now the ball winner that we didn't totally see coming is the one who emerged. But I guess what I'm getting at is we know Tony, we know he's more gadget, more, not forced is the wrong word, but they get it to him in specific ways. What I'm getting at is, do they have an Elijah Surratt? Is there another guy that you fear on that roster or in that wide receiver group that it's 3rd and 12, right? They're bracketing Malachi in the slot, not going to let him catch a football here. You got Jermaine Matthews one-on-one, you got Ignosin one-on-one, whatever. Who's their other guy they really want to get it to? And is there a similar fear we had to going into the game where we said, hey man, don't give Mendoza these specific cover one looks because he's going to feed into them? I personally don't have that fear with Beck, having studied him as a prospect. I don't think he has that confidence in ball placement. But when the chips are down and we say we're talking after the game and there's an 8-catch, 121-yard guy and it's not Malachi, who is it? Is there someone there that would, give you the fear that they got to be aware leaving this guy one-on-one in these specific spots?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have some guys. I mean, you look at their two deep, it's flooded with guys who, I mean, you got JoJo Trader, who Ohio State recruited. You got Keelan Marion, you got CJ Daniels, you got Joshua Moore. You got guys who can go out and make plays. You got Tony Johnson. I think if you're going to look for somebody, I think it's going to be the seniors, the redshirt seniors, the transfers that they had, and Keelan Marion and CJ Daniels. I worry about somebody who's like under the radar, that's going to be somebody that we say, hey, we're going to worry about this guy, or we're worried about Malachi Tony. We're going to let this guy beat us. And it's like one of the tight ends, right? It's one of the Alex Bowmans or the Elijah Loftons, one of those tight end guys that is, we're going to let you beat us. And they pick on a matchup with Lorenzo Styles. Like, those are the type of guys that I'm worried about. I don't necessarily think that they have that guy that could really take over the game, but I guarantee you they're going to come into this and say Charlie Becker did it. And so the Keelan Marions, the CJ Daniels, they are going to come into this game saying, listen, you take away him, I'm going to be the guy who's going to step up. So I think they do have a ton of talent. It's hard to tell who's going to be that next guy because it's the target share is not even close. They force feed. I mean, it's ridiculous how much Malachi Tony gets the ball, the targets that he gets, all those things. That is who their guy is. But when you look at the talent that they have, I can't really decide who would be the guy, but they do have guys who have a ton of talent and transfers in. And I look at JoJo Trader. I mean, that's a guy who we talked about wanting to be a Buckeye, right? And you think about talent that they have, man. Those are the guys that I worry about that, hey, we've forgotten about, that are going to step up in a huge way. And then the tight ends too. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. Like, those are the guys that will beat us. But man, if it's a tight game and then we force them to throw over the middle or underneath consistently, those tight ends they're big bodies, man. And so those are things that kind of worry me a little bit, especially with Lorenzo, and then even some of the size with Caleb Downs. Like, those are things that kind of worry me when you force Malachi Tony out of the game and say, hey, okay, beat us with these guys. They got bodies that can actually do it. Our guys just have to be on their A game. Jermaine Matthews, this is your get back game, man. So you've got to be locked in. They're going to attack us down the field. You got to be locked in all game long.
So CJ Daniels to me is the one who kind of stands out as the ball winner. He had that ridiculous catch, I think, against Notre Dame, the one hand at the goal line. He's had some other downfield throws one-on-one. I think if we look back and they have held Miami into a, Texas A&M like box score, it's probably keeping everybody around Malachi relatively bottled up, right? And not letting him win one-on-ones if you get him into those blind throws, right, where your statue defenders are chasing and trying to rip through hand. He's the one who I was curious, and you kind of answered that in the right way for what I was curious about too, is like, when you watch the guy that they'll throw it up to here and there, he'll make some acrobatic plays. He's one that's interesting. I think the biggest thing about Carson Beck and what I've been turned off about him since the Georgia issues is just he can't handle pressure. He cannot do it. He cannot. And listen, most quarterbacks don't handle pressure well. That's kind of the thing that makes the job hard. But there are guys who will throw. Some guys will eat poor reads, poor process, poor thoughts. Some guys will be able to throw through it. Some guys will throw to you. He's a throw to you guy 2 or 3, 4 times a game. That's evident. The question is whether they can get home without bringing pressure, right? And I think Ohio State's like a 35% pressure team. They brought a little more than we thought they would against Indiana.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you think they're going to be okay getting home, but Miami's got it's a relatively solid offensive line, man. And they got a first rounder on that group, and it's good. So does it come down to stopping them? I don't think they're going to struggle to stop the run, put it that way. I think there's going to be times that they'll give up some run, just like they did against Indiana. A couple will pop here and there, but they'll figure it out. The question becomes, the 4-7 ratio, which is what I talk about all the time, man. And can they get there with 4? I think that's the question. What's your confidence?
Yeah.